Has Joe Burrow proven he is better than Patrick Mahomes now?
No, I still would take Patrick Mahomes over Joe Burrow, although he does play really, really well when he plays Patrick Mahomes. This team plays well. And, Skip, if you look at the 3 games, they've all come down to, 3 points? And it's normally a turnover. And in the game, the quarterbacks are pretty closely matched. The teams are offensively matched, although I do believe Joe Burrow has more firepower. When you look at the way they can run the ball with P. Ryan, Joe Mixon did not even play yesterday. They get Jamar Chase back. They get Higgins. They got Boyd. I like Hurst as a tight end, even though he did not inflict it. He didn't do any. He didn't do any damage. He was out. But you look at those 3 receivers, Skip, and then you got to pick your poison. How do we play them? If we play cover 2, they're going to run us out of cover 2 because P. Ryan's going to run the ball. And he had a great day running the football yesterday. 21 rushes, 106 yards, 5 yards a carry. If we try to play man coverage, do we really want to single up Higgins and Jamar Chase? Or do we leave Boyd one-on-one, and you saw them take advantage of it? These games, when you have evenly matched teams, normally come down to a turnover. And if I could tell Travis Kelce anything, I know he's going back home. He's from Cincinnati, the Heights. He wants to play well. Sometimes you got to know when the journey's over. Fighting for extra yards, pops the ball out. They have a 4-point lead at that point in time, Skip. Who knows? Maybe they attack on a field goal. Who knows? They get a touchdown, and maybe it's a touchdown lead, or maybe even a 2-score game. But Cincinnati gets the ball, goes down the field in the next possession. They take the lead and doesn't give it back. Give them credit. I saw something yesterday, the Chiefs' defense. Skip on 3rd and 11. I, like most people say, they're just going to run the ball, make
the last play. The last play. It. Yep.
Skip. The man threw the ball down the field. He didn't throw the ball to the flag and says, okay, break a tackle, juke 3-4 people, and get the first down. No, I'm throwing this ball down the field. He threw a dart. The guy can't defend it any better than what he defended it. But Joe Burrow, trusting his receiver, the receiver being where he was supposed to be, makes a great catch. And that's what these games come down to. Yesterday, the Bengals did a great job. They do a really good job of pressuring him, keeping him in the pocket. Those 2 edge rushers, Hendrickson and Hubbard, do a great job. They did a great job yesterday of pressuring Patrick Mahomes. They got him a couple of times, but they pressured him a lot more, and they did a great job of, when Patrick escaped the pocket, of flattening out, not letting him turn the corner and getting those yards that we see him get, Skip. So, and the Chiefs entered Sunday leading the league in scoring, but didn't score a point in the 4th quarter. So give Cincinnati credit. Their offense, we know what their offense represents, especially if you can't get Joe Burrow on the ground. But their defense, although they don't have big household names, they don't have a Fred Warner at middle linebacker or one of these top-notch safeties or corners, they play very, very sound defense as a unit. And people don't give them enough credit for how well they rally to the football. They do a great job of getting the ball out. And normally when they arrive somewhere, they get the guy on the ground. Give the Bengals credit yesterday. They're a very good team, and it came down to 1 turnover being the difference in the ball game. But no, I do not think Joe Burrow has surpassed Patrick Mahomes. I still would take Patrick Mahomes.
Even though Joe Burrow is now 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
All right. I first guessed this early last year. I'll just take Joe Burrow any day or Sunday or Monday or Thursday night over Patrick Mahomes, even though it's very close. But what I see is Joe Burrow has a little better command of the position than Patrick does. Joe Burrow has a little bit better pocket poise than Mahomes does. Joe Burrow is more about Brady-esque command of the position than Patrick, who just plays with extreme arm talent and athletic ability. Extreme. And yet, in the end, I blame this mostly on Andy Reid because he just lets this kid, he's still a kid to me, get away with near murder. I'm going to show you a play that happened middle of the 3rd quarter. It's a 2nd and 10 play. The game's seesawing back and forth. And all of a sudden, if we could see this play, it's a Mahomes throw that he just throws up for grabs. And he does this way too much, and it should have been picked, and it wasn't picked. Not sure this is it, I think. No, that wasn't it. But anyway, there's a throw in the middle of the point. He just throws one. He'll just run around and just throw it up for grabs to Valdez-Scantling, and it came down almost in Bengals' arms. But he does that way too much. And then we go back to the other side of the ledger, and I thought Cincinnati should have won this game going away because there were some key plays early on. If we could see the 3rd and 3 play, this is 7:24 left in the 3rd quarter. It's 3rd and 3 at the Kansas City 18. And I don't know what demon possessed Tyler Boyd on this throw, but you can't throw it any better than that.
No.
And it's going to result in only a field goal, but that's about as easy a touchdown throw as he will ever get hit in the hands with. And he is not a ball dropper.
No.
That has not been his MO in this league. Okay, then there's another play. This is 3rd and 1 at the 18. Now we're a little later. We're early in the fourth quarter. And this is to T. Higgins, who caught the one at the end. But if we could see this, he throws it, and T. Higgins makes a great play. Is a great, just a little fade throw. And he got his feet down, and we never got to see. It never went to review because for some reason, there's an illegal man downfield. And I don't know why.
Right.
I think there was some run-pass option to it. But the point is, that cost him 4 more points because that was a touchdown and the other one was a touchdown. So it's 4 points and 4 points that it cost. So there's 8 points fairly late in the game. And then you brought up that last throw. So it's 3rd and 11. They're going to try to run it a couple times and kill clock. It's 1:54 left in the game. And Burrow says, no, I got this. And he just whips it right over the middle. And to your point, it's indefensible. It's the perfect throw at the perfect time, also to T. Higgins for 14 yards that ends the football game.
Yes.
Okay, it's clutch. And I'm not saying Patrick isn't clutch because he is clutch. He did make the 2 bad throws that ended the Indy game and then obviously the Buffalo game at home. But in the end,
But he was clean yesterday.
Yeah, he was clean yesterday. But the point is that Joe Burrow has magic to him. And I love the quote from Frank Clark after the game, obviously playing for the Chiefs as a defensive end, of Joe Burrow. He said, he has great size and elusiveness. People they sleep on his size because he's got the Home Alone baby face, right?
Yes,
you think of him as kind of slender and smallish, but he's not slender. He's 6 feet 4 inches tall. And then Frank Clark goes on to say, people really don't put a lot of respect on his name when it comes to how elusive he is in the pocket and his pocket presence.
Yeah.
He has great command of what's happening. He has great pocket poise because he will. In fact, he ran a career high 11 times yesterday.
Yeah, you see it on the touchdown run, and he did a great job a couple of times escaping and getting first downs. He does a great job. Last year in the championship game, Skip, he got away and got some key first downs late in the ball game to keep drives alive.
He's doing it as much with his head as his arm because he's seeing it, he's reading it, and he's delivering it on time, to your point, to very good receivers.
Yeah.
But he tends to find the most open one on a very routine and consistent basis. And usually, as opposed to the one Tyler Boyd play, they catch it.
Yeah.
So to me, he is operating at a supremely high level. It's why I picked this team to win the AFC once again. And I think they're positioned, even though they have a tough finish.
Yeah.
They're positioned. We're going to talk about Baltimore here in a little bit, but I don't know how troubled they're going to be without Lamar.
Right.
Is he going to push to come back, or is he going to say, you know what, I think I'm going to take my sweet time here?
Yeah, you might be. Skip, I don't know if you agree with me, but I'm looking at Andy Truss, the field goal kicker, out to kick a 54-yard field goal. Now, on 4th and goal, they scrambled and Patrick Mahomes put the ball over the goal line. So I'm saying, Andy.
And it was a great play.
Right. So I'm saying, Andy, why in that situation do you believe that 3 points, I would trust in that situation, I believe I trust Patrick Mahomes with the ball in his hands more than I do with the ball on Harrison Buckner's foot. Skip, I would have gone for it.
Butker made one from was it 60-something? Did he make a 62, I think, earlier this year?
Yeah, but I've seen him miss PATs, and he hadn't been. He missed some time, Skip, with that injury. He hurt himself. I think it was the Indy game that he ends up hurting himself. And so he missed some time, and he hadn't really got back into a complete rhythm. But in that situation, on the road, I think I'm going to trust Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to put the ball in his hands and says, I believe in your son. Go make a play. Because if you don't get it, guess what? The ball is going to be right there. If you miss the field goal, the ball is going to get it right there. So who do you trust? You trust Patrick Mahomes on 4th and 4, or do you trust Buckner on a 55-yard field goal? I think the analytics says you probably should trust Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, I'll buy that. But in the end, the more I watch the Bengals play, the more I like the Bengals.
Yeah.
And they do a number on Patrick Mahomes every time. They make it very difficult for him. And that they at least keep the run to, listen, that Pacheco, you want to talk about running hard. He has brought a whole new dimension to their offense, but he didn't like all out just murder them yesterday. They were able to keep him to a low roar and pin him when they needed to pin him.
Yeah, the difference in the ball game, Skip, is that, I mean, Patrick Mahomes wasn't bad on third down. They were 6 of 11, 54%, 2 of 2 on fourth down.
Yeah, but look what the other team was. They were 7 of 11.
But the thing was, Skip, is that look at the plays. They had 12 more plays. So that's the difference in the ball game, is that when you Kelsey ends up losing that fumble, and now you give Cincinnati momentum, because you could have really done some damage had you gone down the field and scored and gotten more points on the board. But these two teams, and it's going to be like this. It's not. I don't believe it's going to be one way somebody wins a game by 14, 17 points, because the teams are too close. The quarterbacks are too close together. That being said, I will still take Patrick Mahomes, but one turnover is probably going to sway this game. And we've seen that every game they played. The turnovers in the championship game last year swung the game in Cincinnati's favor. The turnover, the first time they played, it was a shootout. I think it was, 34-31, 34-37, something like 37-34, but something like that, Skip. So that's where these games are going to be headed. I love it. People keep saying that Brady is Brady Manning all over again. I can see that. Quarterbacks are very evenly matched. Both guys can make. You wouldn't be disappointed having either guy. It's going to be very interesting to see if Paul Brown going to break out the wallet. I mean, Mike Brown, excuse me.
Brown.
Rest his soul, Paul Brown.
Well, he has no choice.
Skip, he
has no choice.
You know they cheat.
It's his whole show.
Skip, they cheat.
Okay, but it's like that kid getting sacked the most by far in the whole league last year and the most in the playoffs. Got them to a Super Bowl, and they hung right in there.
Yeah.
They had chances late in the game to win the game against the Rams.
What does history tell you about the Bengals? They don't pay.
I know,
and then you got Jamar Chase coming up next year.
Okay, now that could be a problem. they might say, well, we've got Boyd, we got T. Higgins,
right.
we'll go a different direction. We'll draft somebody.
Yeah.
But listen, Jamar Chase is legit, real deal.
Yes. He opens it up because on that last play, they doubled him, and when T. Higgins went one-on-one.
Yeah. They will pay Joe Burrow whatever the market says that they have to pay, because he's your whole show.
He is.
He's your reason for being. And he's going to give you a chance every year to go to the game.
Yep. You got to pay. I mean, you got to pay him, but their history says, no.
Not this time.
The trash talking in this one was epic as well all week, guys. It was a show from start to finish, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.